welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly reading for the sign of Aquarius. Alright guys, you're up next. This is for the week January 12th to the 18th. Lovely Aquarius. We have a card flip. Here we go. And let's go ahead and pull out your romance angel messages. Now these messages are just to see what the nature of your closer relationships may be like. They can also indicate, relationships with family and friends. It doesn't always have, I know they are romance angel messages, but they can apply to other sort of interactions and relationships. In any case, I pull these so that we can see the nature of these relationships this week. Then we're going to go ahead and get right into your animal spirits, and then we'll go ahead and get right into your spread. All of the videos will be out today, by today. So you and Pisces are next, and then all the weeklies are up. Give your relationship a chance. Trust. New love. Wow. Very nice. Nice energy, right? Let's get into your animal spirits for the week. Now, animal spirits can indicate energies, that are becoming available to us in stages in our lives we're coming into. They can be representative of personality types or individuals that we may be encountering this week. So let's go ahead and see what animal spirits Aquarius may be walking with this week. And of course, just take what applies to you. If it doesn't apply to you, right, it's not for you, right? If I'm talking about a relationship that's not working, you're clearly in a happy relationship, then that reading is not for you, all right? So just let it go if it's not for you. Hummingbird, air energy. We have the black egg associated with the fifth chakra, the throat chakra, and we have the elephant. Wow. Hindu god Ganesh associated with the destroyer of obstacles. Very nice, Aquarius. So, hummingbird energy, let's get right into it. Air energy, the hummingbird is extremely spiritually resourceful, right? The hummingbird is one of these animals that knows exactly where to go to get all of its nectar. It knows where to go, right, to get everything it needs to nourish the spirit, right? And so this is what makes it spiritually resourceful. It's a very hardworking individual. This person has a special something that they bring to the table, a special way of communicating, a special way of sort of inspiring you, right? Inspiring people around them. There's this ability that the hummingbird has to always be able to tap into the best of life. Right? To be able to get the best of life out of certain situations. So this is really the type of individual you definitely want as a friend. If you're resonating with this energy, great. But everybody loves someone who is sort of resonating with a hummingbird energy. It can very much be the type of friend that you call on when you need that spiritual assistance or when you need that enthusiasm in your life. They will always come. They are very loyal, very dedicated, extremely willing and able to help. Now, the black egg is associated with the fifth chakra, the throat chakra. And the black egg is all about opening up, right? Opening up that throat chakra, opening up your communication, getting rid of any blockages that may be there, right? Blockages in communication can be sort of fear, right? It can be ignorance, just not understanding that you need to talk more, right? Not having been taught how to communicate. In any case, this is a time to open it up, open that chakra up. Now, what we want, ideally, we want the throat chakra always to be in contact with the heart chakra as well. Because those two chakras work very, it's the throat and the heart chakra is one of those two, are the only really two chakras that kind of work in tandem, right? They really need to work together. The heart wants to communicate itself through the throat, and what the throat chakra is communicating wants to always be connected to the heart. And so in this way, we're talking about certainly, perhaps your heart may be open. Maybe your heart chakra is open, but right now it's time to sort of engage it with your throat and begin to express yourself more. Now the elephant. All my regulars know how much I love the elephant. This is associated with the Hindu god Ganesh, the bringer of abundance and wisdom. You can see the ruby red gem there at the third eye of the elephant, which indicates sort of the wisdom that's there, the understanding, the intuitive ability. But the elephant brings with it fire and passion, but it is also the great destroyer of obstacles. So in the jungle, elephants knock down trees. You know, they knock down huge trees to sort of get to where they need to go. If they need to find a water source, or if they're finding a particular area or spot where they can rest, etc., or eat, what have you, the elephant will absolutely knock down whatever is in its way to get there. And so it is an extremely formidable animal spirit that comes into your life and really just knocks all of the nonsense out the way so that you can be, you know, free and clear on your path to your goal. And almost always it brings you on a, or certainly helps you on a path towards your abundance, right? Towards bringing in health and wealth. All right, my lovely Aquarius, let's get your spreads out. It's going to be 4 3-card spreads for the week to see what you may or may not be going with. Again, just take what applies to you. If it doesn't resonate for you, then let it go, you know? All right. Let's get it out. All right, so 6 of Swords, the World, and 7 of Swords. Some of you coming into this week with a feeling of really sort of wanting to be much more harmonious. Could be that that black egg energy has opened up, right? And you are sort of being more intentional and vocal about your desire to have a more harmonious life. You've decided to sort of really turn your back on strife, arguing. 5 of Swords is arguing, you know, bickering, fighting over nonsense, fighting with somebody who doesn't play fairly. You decide with 6 of Swords, you are well on your way to sort of saying, you've turned your back on it. I want to have better interactions with people. I want to have interactions with people who are on my level, who I respect, you know, and who respect me, so who we can get something out of this exchange. And so 6 of Swords can really indicate that. It can also indicate a physical move away from the environment that you're in, if that environment has been somewhat toxic, right? So you really physically desire to leave. Some of you may be moving. You may be moving cities or state. You may just be moving your house, you know, moving from one house to the next where you live. In any case, you're making a very physical and mental decision to move closer towards harmony. You're met with the World energy this week, which is a real feeling of the world opening up to you. World card really can feel also like destiny or fate has its eye on you, because things seem to just happen, right? Things seem to happen the way they're supposed to happen. There seems to be a lot of so-called coincidences, happy coincidences, right? And it just feels very much like you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're very much on your destined path. It seems like everything is kind of working together, you know, in a way, right? And so it's interesting because it feels like you've made absolutely the right decision here, right? But you round the week off with a 7 of Swords. Now, 7 of Swords is a feeling of futility. It's also the card for treachery. So it'll be very interesting. I think later on this week, you kind of realize perhaps that, I'm going to say Aquarius, for some of you, right? If you're resonating with this energy here, right? Where if you have recently made a decision to get away from certain people who are very toxic, right? And perhaps you're in a social circle where everybody can see that you've made that move, right? You feel good about it. If suddenly you find yourself this week like dealing with issues that are like, really out of the ordinary, right? If suddenly there's a problem somewhere because somebody thought you said something, or there's a miscommunication. If suddenly there feels like there's a weird miscommunication going on, or like something is just not right, it's because of the 7 of Swords. Treachery is at hand. Somebody you know is seeing you moving forward, right? But they don't like it. 7 of Swords is a very sneaky fucking energy, honestly. It's someone who's very close to you, someone you trust, a friend. Can even be a relative, can be your best friend, right? But it's like whenever your life begins to sort of move in a better direction, it's like this weird negative energy suddenly comes out of nowhere. This is going to be this individual who constantly works behind the scenes. You may just find out who this is this week. It's a very sneaky energy. It's the thief in the night. I call it my dream thief card. And it's almost always somebody very close to you, somebody that you least expect, right? Who tries to sort of throw a monkey wrench in things. And they literally may even smile in your face and pretend to be your biggest supporter. Yet behind the scenes, they're encouraging negative energy and they're encouraging things to go wrong. And it's like, then they see you and they're like, oh, did that happen? Oh, I'm so sorry. And meanwhile, they're the ones who orchestrated the whole thing in a weird way. So be very careful. You'll know what I'm talking about if you resonate with this. 9 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, and the 9 of Swords. So 9 of Pentacles, of course, is someone who's very independent, someone who's a real ambitious individual, a real go-getter. And Aquarius, some of you are coming into the week with this energy. 9 of Pentacles is someone who's a real master at their craft. You have begun to really get the rewards of your hard work coming in. Remember, the 8 of Pentacles is a time where we just knuckle down, we work and work and work. Well, 9 of Pentacles, your rewards come in, your garden is blossoming. And money, you're resonating up with abundance and finances, very much elephant energy in the sense that the wealth is increasing. However, this week you come into a week of 5 of Wands. There's a lot of competitiveness around you. Somebody doesn't like the fact that you're resonating up. Somebody doesn't like the fact that you're leveling up to a 9 of Pentacles. Or even if you've already been at a 9 of Pentacles, there is some kind of really competitive energy there. 5 is always the number for power struggle. And with 5 of Wands, we find a power struggle for who wants to be on top. All right. And so this is the energy that you're met with. Take care. Don't engage. You don't need to engage. This is almost always energy that's coming towards you or sucking you in as a result of where you're at here. You're in a beautiful garden. You don't need to engage with these people who are very petty, small-minded, very base. I call it very base in their thinking and attitude. 9 of Swords is your feeling that you round the week off with. And there's a feeling of regret. There's a feeling of sort of a little bit of guilt. I wonder if this might not be... Aquarius, could this be a power struggle that you're having with someone that you were once very close with? It could be. And now you're feeling really bad about it by the end of the week. You're feeling like, wow, why did this have to go there? Because oftentimes, and I say this because oftentimes the 9 of Pentacles is an energy that can alienate you from friends that you've had for a long time. And I mean this to say, for instance, when you grow up with people, right, and you have good friends, you guys kind of get older and you go down your own sort of path in life, right? But your path has really taken you to a much higher level of abundance, right? It could be that you just have a particular career or a particular skill. You may be an artist. You may have had achieved a certain amount of fame or notoriety. Whatever the case may be, the 9 of Pentacles is known for being one of these type of individuals whose level of abundance or whose ambition with regard to career and business tends to alienate them from other people around themselves because they're not at that level. If you grow up and now all of a sudden you're making like hundreds of $1,000s a year and your friend is still only making a certain amount of money and maybe living at a certain status, you guys, you know what I mean? You can't, who's going to pay for the check? You know what I mean? Every time you go out to dinner, it's not a case of you can't mix, that the classes can't mix. It's simply a fact that money and certain levels of having abundance can alienate you from people who are not at that level because they can't afford to keep up with you, right? And if you then go ahead and just pay for everything all the time, then it gets weird, right? Nobody feels good under those circumstances. So it's a natural fact that this can happen. Right now, it doesn't always have to happen, and it can be that the both of you are very, very strong, that your bond is very strong, and that despite that, you continue to be close. That can, of course, happen, but it takes both of you to be very strong emotionally, spiritually, individuals where this sort of difference in status doesn't make a difference in your friendship. Nevertheless, it feels almost like this. It feels like this is an argument or a battle that you're having with somebody close to you who may have become jealous of you, who may have become envious, or who may just be angry that they're not able to have their Aquarius friend anymore because Aquarius is doing so well right now. And it's causing you pain. All right? It's causing you some pain here with Nine of Swords. You're feeling bad about it. You miss your friend. You feel bad that you guys have to argue. Why the fuck does there have to be all this arguing and bickering and competition? Why can't we just be the way we were when we were kids? This is just an example, you know. Why can't we just be the way we were when we first got together and we were friends and we loved each other and we wanted the best for each other, you know? And it's quite sad. You'll find a way through this, but this is what this feels like for me, certainly. Could be a case of black egg energy in the sense that there needs to be better communication here. Ace of Wands, the Fool, and the Hierophant. So some of you are certainly coming in this week with this Ace of Wands, which is a feeling of a new passion, a new endeavor that you're getting interested in. It's a new creative outlet, right? Sometimes it can be a new relationship because it is the great phallic symbol. So sometimes this can be a new sort of really strong physical attraction. But I don't think that's the case here. I think this is very much, some of you Aquarius are really finding a new vision this week, or something in your life that really you feel passionate about. In any case, you're met with Fool energy, and this really feels like the beginning of a whole new stage in your life. Perhaps a whole new sort of path in life where you're beginning to integrate this new passion of yours. Whether this passion be working with people, working with children, or working, you know, in a particular area, or perhaps it could be a new artistic passion that you have that suddenly you want to get into. Whatever the case may be, it feels very much this week like it's becoming integrated into your life and into a very new stage of your life. You're like, your life will never be the same again now that you found this outlet, right? You round the week off with Hierophant energy, and that's a real feeling of sort of commitment, right? Not only do you feel like this is now forever going to be a part of your life, or certainly a part of the foreseeable future, it has really increased your level of commitment spiritually. And I think that in a lot of ways, this will bring you back to sort of your spiritual goals, your spiritual or moral center in a lot of ways. It's interesting, you know, it feels like something perhaps that's come out of an event. You may have gone to a particular event and just been exposed to this, right? Exposed to this, this thing, whatever it is, whether, like I said, whether it is artistic or a particular purpose or a particular sort of cause, right? Or creative outlet, whatever this thing is, it feels like maybe you even came across it by accident, right? At an event, or somebody else, you saw somebody else doing this thing, or maybe another artist, right? This could be sculpture. It could be, like I said, it could be humanitarian work. It could be just a certain area in your career. Whatever the case may be, it's something that feels very, very passionate, but it also is something that really speaks to your spiritual center, that really makes you feel like it's something that expands your spiritual understanding, right? And it now feels very much like a whole new life for you. Like, you know, you can't even imagine life before you sort of knew about this, or before you were exposed to this, right? Really interesting. If you're resonating with this, leave me a comment. Be curious what some of you are going through with this, or what this event is. King of Wands, Devil, and Four of Swords. This is your last spread. Some of you, again, are coming in this week with a real vision. You have your eye firmly fixed on the horizon. You have a vision for yourself of what you want to do. The King of Wands is certainly the leader. He leads by example. He is the king of following his passions and manifesting his passions, whatever they are, like really seeking them out and sort of manifesting them in the real world. He always has a vision for himself, you know, and he won't be deterred from that, right? Kings are always fire. Here we have the fiery aspect of fire. So, you know, this is the most passionate in terms of, and the most committed in terms of sort of going after what you want in life, or going after what you feel your purpose in life is, right? If we were pulling an animal spirit, we would pull something like the cheetah or the lion when we talk about the King of Wands. So you come into this week with this feeling, and you really want to go after something. There's something very important that you're wanting to accomplish, and you've already set sort of everything in motion for that. But you're met with devil energy, and it seems to be that there's some energy coming into you this week that seeks to sort of derail you from this vision. Now, the devil could be exalted or it could be in its negative form. When exalted, when this energy is exalted in its positive form, then we create beautiful works of art, beautiful works of creativity. We create children. We follow our passions and desires as they are connected to a higher purpose. You know, when our passion and our desires are connected to a higher purpose or higher aesthetic, this is when we create incredible works of art. This is when we create children, right? You have to have sex to make babies, but yet there's no denying that creating life is the highest, most exalted form of creativity known to us as humans, right? Yet you have to do something that is considered part of devil energy, which is having sex, in order to accomplish that. And so the devil is not necessarily a negative card at all, you know. And if we're, you know, we're not talking about a Christian Judeo outlook here. We're talking about the tarot. And in the tarot, the devil, when those creative energies or those passions that we have to express ourselves creatively, when they're stifled or blocked off or smothered in some way, this is when we then descend into being a slave to our passions, to our instant gratification, codependency, addiction, dysfunction, toxicity. All of that comes out of our inability to properly express ourselves creatively. And this is when we fall into what is commonly known as evil or devil energy, you know, just being negative, having a very negative outlook on life and just being very stagnated, right? And certainly being addicted, falling into addiction or codependency. So there's some energy coming in this week that is seeking to sort of talk to that side of you. It's interesting. It's like pulling you almost, it's like pulling you away. It could be that some of you, Aquarius, may have already dealt with addictions in the past, and there's an individual or an event or something that is a trigger. Because devil energy can also represent triggers for pulling us back into that sort of area of our lives, right? If we've been there before. Could be some kind of trigger or some kind of person from the past coming in. It could be someone new also. But in either case, there is a trigger this week that really kind of comes into your life. And you round the week off with a 4 of Swords. You're being extremely careful about your next move, right? It's almost as if, it feels to me that almost as if somebody's perhaps even come in with this in the guise of being helpful, right? In the guise of being helpful and supportive, when in actuality, interacting with them could be a very slippery slope back into the negative side of this energy. And so you're being very, very careful, Aquarius. You see it for what it is. And by the end of the week, you're being very careful with this 4 of Swords. You're being extremely strategic. You're taking the time to make your next decision, right? Could even be, for instance, an example could be if you are an artist. Say you are a musician or an artist, right? And so, you are in the realm of creativity where you have to walk a fine line, right? Certainly if you're an artist that has a lot of fame, or you're in a field that would cause you to have fame, there's always a tightrope you're walking between being true to yourself and your vision and following into sort of instant gratification here, making the wrong decisions, and before you know, you find yourself into sort of the negative side of devil energy, right? And so suddenly there comes this opportunity. Maybe somebody comes into you, they have an opportunity or they have an offer for you, and in the back of your mind that, this offer could go either way. It could go sideways, or it could, and so you recognize that, because the King of Wands is also very wise. He's been through a lot, so he sees the pitfalls, right? So he's also very, very careful. And so you seeing that inherent in this offer, perhaps somebody's making you an offer that, on the short run can make you a lot of money, but in the long run, maybe you have to compromise some of your artistic integrity, right, for this offer. So here you have a perfect example of devil energy. Which way would you go, right? And so you realize this, you're being very careful this week. That's just an example, guys, right? You could be in any field, but I think you round the week off with a 4 of Swords, being very strategic and very careful, as you should. You should always be very, very careful when you know that devil energy is at play, because the devil energy can go either way, right? It can go either way. All right, Aquarius. Love you so much. I hope you enjoy this. If you want to get a private reading, follow the links at the top of your screen. Don't forget to follow the links at the top of the description for your 2020 love outlook, your 2020 regular outlook, general outlook, and your January love reading. But for right now, Aquarius, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell so you can be notified of my uploads and my premieres. But for right now, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.